Welcome to the Samwell B12 experience. Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we are today. It is the 2023 NHL Draft Lottery. This is for all the marbles, all the ping pong balls, all the dice, the whole enchilada, the insert your cliche saying here. It is a big one for a couple of teams. So welcome in AAU. What's going on? Getting the freeze. Now, I should say, Streamlabs has been having all kinds of issues today. So things may be a little slow. They might be a little delayed, but we're going to get you that freeze to kick it off with the draft lottery. So Triton, what's going on? Lucas, hello. Mark, welcome in. NMC, it's kind of like beer pong, just completely different. Darth Gator, I love that name. That is awesome. Welcome in. Alex, how's it going? Morgan, Eternal, Dominus, welcome in, everybody. So here we have up on the screen over here, my best Vanna White. Over here are all the teams involved in the lottery ping pong ball drawing. So it all depends on where they finished, how they fared, and where they placed, yada, 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 yada. Beverly, how's it going? Welcome in. So Calgary Flames, 0.5% chance of landing the number one pick. Nashville Predators, 0.5%. Pittsburgh, 1.5. Buffalo, 2. Ottawa, 2.5. Vancouver, 3. St. Louis, 3.5. Francisco, what's going on? Welcome in. Detroit, 5%. Washington, 6%. Philadelphia, 6.5. Arizona, 7.5. Montreal, 8.5. San Jose, 9.5. Then Chicago with 11.5. Columbus at 13.5. And the Anaheim Ducks with an 18.5%. Now, excuse me, the other thing to talk about is these top picks over here. The top, they can't drop. You can't go from potentially your number one all the way down to number 16. There's a limit of how far you can drop and how the logistics work out. Lost Anchor, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's going to be really interesting to see where these ping pong balls come. Now, this is where there's a little bit of conversation taking place on social media. Is the lottery fixed? Because they don't, in the past, they haven't shown us them actually pulling the ping pong balls until after. They open up the envelopes and announce who's there, right? So, could the NHL decide they want Connor Bedard, the number one pick, to go to Arizona? Of course they could. Would they? I really hope they wouldn't. But here's the teams that are involved. Here's the percentages of where they're going. Sam, what's going on? Are there any goaltenders projected to be drafted in the first round? There's a lot of great players, and thank you for the segue. This is one of the deepest drafts in a long time. Of course, Connor Bedard expected to go number one. Adam Fantilli, if you've watched the World Juniors with us over the last little while, Fantilli is up there. He's been ridiculous. Matvey Michkov is up there as well. Leo Carlson from the SHL. Will Smith, not who you're thinking of. Will Smith is up there. He has a chance to go. Are there any goaltenders? Let me take a quick scroll through. Lots of forwards, a couple D. This is definitely the year of the forward, but there's some good D on there as well. I don't see any goaltenders in the top area. Now, that doesn't mean a goaltender won't go in the first round. If a team desperately needs to improve their tending of the twine between the pipes, they will definitely go off book and assess that. But all the teams that are in this area right now, they're in this draft, they need a lot more than just goaltending. So, it's you expect the big forwards to go. Of course, Bedard and Fantilli going to go 1-2. I'd be shocked if they didn't. So you never know. You never know how this is going to go. Now, with all the teams here that are in this to play, where do we want to see the number one pick going? I'd be happy if Bedard goes to Anaheim. I love the young core that Anaheim has put together. Can you imagine Bedard and Zegras and Terry connecting in there with a lot of other youngsters in that organization? I think that would be awesome. Columbus to play with Gaudreau and Line, that would be a nice fit. Although I think it's a little bit of waste of that talent going to Columbus. They certainly have a lot of rebuilding. Haggard, what's going on? Saying the Hawks. I was just about to say, I do not want to see him go to the Hawks or the Sharks. Chicago completely rebuilding that organization. I think it's going to be a while before they're successful again. Um, if he went to Montreal, I wouldn't hate it because as a Toronto fan, we'd see him come through. So I wouldn't hate Montreal. Of course, Arizona is my bet. That's who I think is going to steal the number one. The NHL has put so much into building Arizona. They got the new arena deal coming. They're going to get a draft and an all-star game very soon. So I'd be shocked if Bedard didn't go there. But of course, it's all about the ping pong balls and where they fall. Can that 7.5% beat out the 18.5? We'll have to wait and see. Wayne, how's it going? It was fixed when Crosby went to Pittsburgh, McDavid went to Edmonton. It's kind of funny you say that, right? How it's all going to work out. We're going to see very, very soon. Now, of course, this draft or this lottery pick, this is going to lead right into the Golden Knights Oilers game. So as soon as we're done here, we're going to close the stream. We're going to switch everything over. We're going to open a new stream to bring you play-by-play of the Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights game 3. So you want to make sure you hop on over for that. And as you are coming in, smash that like button. Let's get those likes up. We'd appreciate it. So this is just going to be a shorty, but a goodie. We're probably going to be here about 20 minutes or so. When they do get to the desk and they bring the envelopes, we're going to feed in the audio. So we'll bring you the actual audio of them opening the envelopes. And then you'll have to let me know, is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? And we'll adjust it. Last year when they did this, almost in order, and I'm like pointing to the bottom of my monitor, but almost to the order, it was all the same up until about middle here. A couple picks got swapped around, and there was a chance for an upset getting the number one, but it didn't happen. So last year, it kind of all flushed through in order. Now we kind of stopped talking about Arizona. Philly, again, would be interesting. Philly's rebranding themselves. Philly's a big, strong team. It would be interesting if they show. Steven, not yet. Not yet. The ping pong balls are fluttering around. They're bouncing around. Of course, they already know who these picks are. They're going to come out and open the envelopes. So Philly would be interesting. Washington would be another interesting one. Again, 6% chance. You have the old guard with Ovechkin and company kind of finishing up there. How many more seasons does Ovi have? So it would be interesting to get another superstar coming in to start taking over the Washington Capitals. And I saw somebody put it in Detroit. That would be very, very interesting if the Red Wings were to pick it. The Wings, of course, they got the likes of Sider and Raymond, and they're really putting together a nice young group there. So I think Bedard would fit in heavenly. And we shouldn't only talk about Bedard. We also should be looking at the likes of Fantilli. Adam Fantilli, this kid is incredible. He was just wild. He joins Jack Eichel and Paul Kariya as just the third freshman to capture the Hobey Baker Award as a college player. Fantilli is not to mess around. Again, when we were calling the World Juniors for the last 2 years, Fantilli was like my number one. He surprised me the most of anybody. Lewis, what's going on? Leafs are holding. We're not going to talk about the Leafs today. We're going to save all the Leaf talk for excuse me, never. No, just kidding. We're going to talk about the Leafs a little bit during the Vegas Oilers stream coming up next. Jacob, how's it going? Welcome in. Great to see you. That's if you didn't have a heart attack. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, you can only move up a certain amount of spots and you can only drop down a certain amount of spots. So again, how this went last year is the percentages pretty much played out. We didn't see a lot of surprises. So what we're going to try and do, because they're going to move it quick, and we wanted to show you the order they're in. So as they go, if a team does swap, we're going to drop a black box over top of it, and then we're going to drop in and try and get the team name that replaces that team. Now, because this goes fast, it might be a little tough to keep up with, but we're going to do our best to drop in the new teams there. So just keep in mind as we go, this is the list of the original listing in setup. So in this top list, of course, Bedard, Fantilli, those two are absolutely incredible. Mitchkov, I haven't watched a lot of game film. He's been playing in the KHL. He's undeniably one of the most skilled players in this class. So if he ends up going 3 or even number 4, I think that's okay. He's still going to be absolutely incredible. Of course, Leo Carlsson rated number 4 right now. He had a very successful regular season. He was just incredible. So it's going to be wild to see what these guys can do. All right, they're going to get ready to bring the ping pong balls. Well, the ping pong balls. They're going to get ready to bring the envelopes in. And as soon as they take the stand, they take the podium, we're going to pipe in the audio so you can listen along. Almost 100 people here. If you haven't hit that like, smash that like for us. Help us bring those likes up. And then, of course, when this is done, we're moving right in to Game 3 of the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers looking to continue their dominance in what they had just a couple of nights ago. Played for the Pats, so might retain colors of the Blue Jackets. Wouldn't that be something? Now, of course, Bedard has been asked probably 1.5 billion times, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And he's not going to give that, truthful answer. He's going to say, I want to go wherever, whatever team selects me. Now, for sure, we're not going to have the same situation we had last year where Shane Wright was expected to go first and drop down. There's no way Connor Bedard drops down. All right. So they're just getting things ready. I'm just waiting to pipe in. Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago, all having watch parties, excited to see what's going to happen. Will one of those 3 teams get the number 1 pick? So Bedard, at 18 years of age, he's 5'10", 185 pounds. He's going to put on a bit more weight, so maybe he gets up to close to 200. But at 5'10", he's a little small. Right now, the league is getting bigger. It's getting harder, but Bedard can absolutely take on anybody. Again, if you've watched this kid play, he is ridiculous. Theo, what's going on? We need some game 7s in the second round. Absolutely. Jonathan, how's it going? Welcome in, everybody. So they're actually interviewing Bedard right now. Let's listen in to hear what he has to say.
Segment for them.
All the NHL fans and players and certainly scouts and everybody else alike
how the volume
knows
is.
your skill set on the ice and what you bring to the table. But tell us something that we don't know about you off the ice as Connor Bedard, the person.
I mean, hockey related. I played like roller since I was like 4 or 5. And we got a pretty good team, a couple NHL guys playing. So, we play. I've played every summer for like 12 years now. I mean, I guess that's somewhat hockey, but a little something about me.
Who was the player that you idolize and or that you do idolize, and why?
It's always been Sidney Crosby. I mean, kind of growing up, and
Bedard,
he was always,
Sidney Crosby.
kind of that guy in the NHL, and just what he did on the ice speaks for itself. But I think it was pretty awesome for me to get to watch what he was like off the ice, the way he was in the community and interviews and everything, just how he handled himself with all that tension and all that pressure. So he's someone that I looked up to a lot in that way.
For the team that ultimately drafts you, what would you say are your best attributes?
He's very well spoken.
I think first off, just my will to get better, and that's something that I take a lot of pride in, and I love to practice the game and try to improve, and I think in games, my competitiveness, and I love to be creative, trying to make plays, and I think, but overall, it's just I think it's hard for me to give kind of a scouting report on myself, but just my will to train it and get better and stuff.
We've all seen all of that in spades. So, Connor, thank you.
That's so awesome. So, Connor Bedard talking in there. Well spoken. He's got to be feeling a tremendous amount of pressure right now. He's got to be excited, but he's feels the pressure. He knows whoever pulls this ping pong ball, whoever gets number 1, it's going to change his life. If he goes to a market like Chicago, like Montreal, like Detroit, he's going to be in the thick of it. He is going to be living a legacy. If he goes to a San Jose, to a Columbus, to an Arizona, much smaller teams, weaker teams, smaller fan bases, Does the NHL want him to go to one of those? So here's the rules. 2 drawings for 16 teams that did not make the playoffs. Teams can only move up a max of 10 spots. If a team in the 12 to 16 range wins the first drawing, the first pick will remain with the Anaheim Ducks. I don't really understand that. If a team in this 12 to 16, so Ottawa through Calgary, wins the first drawing, the first pick will remain with the Anaheim Ducks. Interesting. All right, let's get it started. Let's bring the audio back in. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. On behalf of the National Hockey League, I'd like to welcome our 16 teams participating in tonight's event. And I wish you each good luck as we reveal the results of tonight's draft lottery. With that, let's get it started.
Here we go.
The number 16 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to Calgary Flames.
No change.
Calgary did not have a first-round pick last year, but they will be picking 16th overall for the 4th time in franchise history.
Thanks, Weeksy, for the update.
The number 15 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Nashville Predators.
This will be GM David Poyle's last draft representing the franchise since its inception. Former head coach Barry Trotz will be taking over GM duties in July.
Let's go to
the number 14 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Sorry, Lucas.
The Penguins had a 16-season playoff run and saw that come to an end. But the upside is they'll be picking 14th, and they have a top 15 pick for the first time in a little over a decade.
Great players in this draft. So all these teams are
the number 13 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Buffalo Sabres.
Major improvements in Western New York for the Sabres with a 91-point campaign. They'll be picking 13th for the 7th time in franchise history and the first time since they selected Zach Kassian in 2009.
The number 12 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Ottawa Senators.
As mentioned, since this pick isn't a top 5 pick, the selection transfers to Arizona, and as a condition of the Jacob Chychrun trade, the Coyotes will be selecting 12th for the 4th time in franchise history.
Arizona gets that 12th pick.
The number 11 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Vancouver Canucks.
Patrick Allvin will be heading his second draft for Vancouver in the Pacific Northwest. This is the last time that the Canucks had selected 11th overall, which was way back in 1982.
The number 10 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the St. Louis Blues.
The St. Louis Blues will have 3 first-round picks for general manager Doug Armstrong for the first time since 2007.
The number 9 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Detroit Red Wings.
The last time they had the 9th overall pick in Motown was back in 2017 when they took forward Michael Rasmussen.
The number 8 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Washington Capitals.
Their 8-season playoff run came to an end with the 8th overall pick. They will have, though, the top 10 selection for the first time since 2007.
The number 7 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers.
The Flyers remain the same.
After taking Cutter Gauthier 5th overall last year, the Flyers will be selecting 7th for the 5th time in franchise history.
The number 6 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Arizona Coyotes.
Last year, the Coyotes had 3 first-round selections, headlined by American Logan Cooley at 3 overall. This year, they'll be selecting 6th overall for the first time since taking Oliver Ekman-Larsson in 2009.
Arizona will get some great players.
The number 5 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Montreal Canadiens.
Last year, the Canadiens made a historic selection by taking Slovak Yuri Slafkowski 1st overall. This year, they'll be selecting 5th. The last time they had the 5th overall pick is when they took franchise ace in goal, Carey Price.
Will somebody move?
The number 4 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the San Jose Sharks.
San Jose.
This will be Mike Greer's second draft as a Sharks GM.
Columbus,
They have never selected
Anaheim.
4th overall, but they
Nobody
have a
has
top
moved
5 pick
yet.
for the first time since 1998.
How is this going to play out?
And there is our first change in the order, with Columbus dropping to 3rd. So
All right, so they are going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. The stories we have predicted so far are not coming to be. This is incredible. This is wild. It is Anaheim, Columbus, or Chicago. One of those 3 are going to get a chance at the number 1 pick. So Bedard is going to go to one of those teams. Fantilli is going to go to one of those teams. This is wild. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as this is done and wrapped up, we're going to switch gears. We're going to end the stream. We're going to get everything ready, and we're going to come right back with the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 3. You should be redirected automatically, but just in case you're not, make sure to go over, click into that game. It's going to be a big one. Can Leon Draisaitl and the Oilers continue what they started in game number 2? So where do you guys think? Let's get your predictions. Daryl's going Chicago. Where do you guys think? Do you think Chicago will make it? Columbus? They drop down to number 3. Will Columbus hang in there? Anaheim? What are your predictions? I wish there was more crazy too, Dave. I wish there was more of movement all the way around. Domi, what's going on? Wanted Bedard in the Caps. That would have been an interesting situation. Yeah, Hawks. Haggard wants the Hawks. Chicago for sure. Ducks. Morgan says Dan. Yeah, Columbus is in 3rd. Let's do this. So we're gonna go. This is. I got to move all this stuff around. So this is actually now the Blue Jackets. So hang on, I'm going to flip these around. So we'll lock that in place. And then this becomes Chicago. So there we go. So Chicago moves up. So we'll see how this is going to play out. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. I really hope Anaheim takes this. I would love to see Bedard play with this talent. It's going to be wild. How do we end up 15th? CeeLo, you lost a whole lot of games. That's how you ended up 15th. That's right, Wax. Can you imagine Bedard, Zegras, McTavish, Terry in there? That team is going to be fire. It's going to be awesome if they can pull this one off. I still think they need a little bit of work on the goaltending, but it's going to be absolutely wild. So they're just coming back from a commercial break. We're going to get right back into these picks. Who is it going to be? The world is waiting. This, of course, will have huge implications to either of the teams remaining. Gives them a big boost. And, of course, for their franchise, for their fan base, man, they're going to sell a ton of Bedard jerseys. Caulfield, Suzuki, Bedard, that would be pretty good as well. That would be pretty sick line. All right. Let's get back into it and see where is this going to end up?
Good luck to each of Anaheim, Columbus, and Chicago.
Maybe they're going to another commercial. Oh, here we go.
Number 3. The number 3 overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
So it's Chicago or Anaheim.
There's a look at John Davidson and Jarmo Kekalainen out in
Anaheim
the Buckeye
fans,
State in Columbus,
are there
Ohio.
Any of you out there? Here we go.
Watch parties are going nuts so far. You can see on the
to.
right, we've got the Anaheim Ducks fans that are going bonkers. And on the left, that is the seed, and it is set now for the final two. Anaheim Ducks General Manager Pat Verbeek, and on the left, General Manager of the Chicago Blackhawks, Kyle Davidson. Without further ado, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, take it away.
Number 1 pick.
The first overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft belongs to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh my God, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Number 2.
Oh my gosh.
The Anaheim
I can't believe
Ducks.
it. The Chicago Blackhawks.
Bedlam in Chicago. Chicagoland fans high-fiving on their feet, going nuts, as they should be. You can see the smiles on the face of their general manager, Kyle Davidson, who certainly has to be enthusiastic about this great news for their franchise and, of course, their amazing fans.
Unbelievable. The Chicago
We'll see Chicago
Blackhawks
make their selection.
I can't believe
And as we can see here, the Chicago Blackhawks now have that first overall selection. This will be the second time drafting first overall since 07 with the great Patrick Kane. First round picks in the previous drafts include Kevin Korchinski, Frank Nazar.
To the Chicago Blackhawk fans, you have just landed the number 1 first overall pick. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. I can't believe Chicago. I don't know what to say. Are you guys as shocked as I am? Original 6 coming through, absolutely. With Kane gone and Taves not being signed, Chicago in a big rebuilding process. So this is going to be interesting. What the puck? Welcome in. I don't know what to say. Something seems rigged. You know what? That's what's going to be buzzing tonight. Everybody's going to be talking about, was this rigged? Chicago needed help. Chicago was in shambles after the issues they had last year. Chicago, and here they are. Congratulations, Blackhawks fans. That was absolutely wicked and wild. I cannot believe it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring it to an end for us here with the Ping Pong Ball Draft Lottery. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes with the Edmonton Oilers in the Vegas Golden Knights. Bedard is already demanding a trade. Hey, we'll give Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares for Bedard. You think Chicago will make that deal? Oh my gosh. So round 1 of the actual draft will be June 28th. June 28th. We'll see if we can do what we did last year and bring you the draft live on June 28th. So ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We are in Crystal Palace. That's right. It's totally rigged. Chicago. Don't go anywhere. Flip on over to our next stream, the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. You should get redirected automatically, but if you don't, flip on over. We're going to switch things up. We'll be live in 5 minutes time. Thanks for coming out to hang out for the lottery. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in just a few. Take care.